Happy New Year, everybody. Just got up and my hair is like tweaked all over the place. I didn't even see the new year in. No, I don't know what time I went to bed, actually, to be honest with you guys. I don't remember, but I think it was like between 10:30 and 11. Yeah, so I hope you all had a fun evening last night. Hope you're all having a fabulous holiday today. Again, alone for another holiday. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for dinner for myself today, but I'm thinking I might make myself something fun. Yeah, so it's snowing. It's real fine snow, but it's getting heavier. But we never got hit with that storm that we supposedly were going to be hit with. Sterling just came up. This is my big boy. Sterling, say hi. Hi. He's daddy to my litters currently. So, yeah. All right, Sterling. Oh, you're heavy. Yeah, so today what I thought I'd do is just do a little coloring for you. I haven't done an art video in a while. And it's -6 degrees here. And it is 9 o'clock in the morning, approximately. And I never did my 2017 Coloring Book of Shadows last year. And so I thought today, I only did a few things in this book, but I found a really cute picture. I'm not real keen on the bird that much, but I thought I would use my Copic markers and color in this little wreath. And it's got a blue jay, and it's funny because blue jays represent something, and I've had a blue jay that keeps, he kept coming on he or she kept coming on my top of my fence in front of my picture window here, and he'd go from one area to the other, and I had this really strong impression about my mother because I just lost my mother, and yeah, so I just even thought to myself, could that be my mother? And it was so funny because I was listening to something, I think it was something on YouTube, and it was talking about what animals represent. And they said that a blue jay coming to you can represent a female relative that's trying to communicate love or something like that. And I was just like, started bawling, because I thought it was my mom, and here I had confirmation of that, So I have a really cool book called Animal Speak. It's based more on part of my heritage, which is Native American. And, sorry, that's one of my tics. Can't help it. Yeah, so I want to get that book out and refresh, what it says about the different birds and different animals that come to you. But anyway, yeah, back to this. So I want to color this in for you today, and I thought we could do that together. And it has a pine cone with the little pine branches. It's got crocus, and I think that's marjoram. Yeah, marjoram. So another herb on there. And I kind of recognize those flowers, but I don't want to say the wrong ones. And then it does have this planet Saturn here. So I thought that would be really fun, and we could kind of choose some colors and do some blending. And yeah, so that's what I thought we could do to start out the new year. I hope that you don't overwhelm yourself with New Year's resolutions and put stress on yourself like that. Just let your spirit and the universe speak to you. And, sure, it's great to have goals, short and long-term goals. But if you put too much pressure on yourself, then you feel that disappointment. And that is not healthy. It really isn't healthy to get yourself disappointed and down in the dumps. Everybody has great ideas for the new year, what they want to accomplish, losing weight, starting a new hobby, finishing up craft projects, whatever. But, just give yourself a break and realize that from one day to the next, not a lot has changed except for when you write out the date. So, just take your time and do what you're able to do, And if you can set some goals to achieve later in the year, whether it be short term or long term, that's fantastic. But don't put the pressure and the guilt on yourself, okay? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause this video. And I'll go over to my little shelf. I don't know whether I can show that to you without you seeing my filthy house. No, I can't. But I have a sideboard, an antique sideboard across the room. And on top of it, I have these little cubbies. And I have all my Copic markers in there. And they are all separated by color code. So, you know, the blues, the blue-greens, the yellows, the yellow-reds, that kind of thing. So I'll pull out some colors that I think would be fantastic for this. And then we'll come back and we will start coloring together. I am assuming that this paper probably is going to bleed, so I'm going to have to get something and put behind it to make sure that it doesn't bleed through, because this is a cute book. I'm sorry that I didn't have my Copic markers back then when I got this book. I was going to use just regular colored pencils that I got at the Walmart or dollar store or whatever. But now I've got Caran d'Ache water-soluble pencils, you know, the watercolor paint pencils. And that's the best way I can describe it if you're not familiar with them. They look like colored pencils, but when you put water to them, they turn into watercolor. And they're the highest quality probably in the world that you can get. And so I was kind of thinking maybe we could do that, but maybe I'll choose another picture that we can do, because this is not watercolor paper, and it's not, you know, meant for alcohol-based markers like the Copics, but we'll put something behind each page and figure it out along the way. And I hope you have a fabulous day today again. Stay warm. It's very cold. My daughter just said it's minus 22 where she is, and it's minus 6 where I am. She's up in New Hampshire. So, yeah, brr. That's why I've got a fleecy on in the house, and I've got my fireplace going as well. I don't know if you saw that a second ago. There you go. Yep. So, all right, guys, I'm going to pause and go get my Copics, and we'll get started. Well, one thing I discovered is that my little tripod, my spider tripod that I have here, is not going to work very well in filming this. So, but we will go ahead and give it a go. Now, I decided that I would like the word January to be in shades of red. So I'm starting out with a pale red, which is called pale cherry pink. Okay. So we're just going to kind of go in here, and I am using the brush tip. Okay. And it's very fine in some areas, so I'm not going to go all the way, or try to go all the way to the edge, but you can already see that it is starting to bleed a little bit out of the lines. But yeah, so, and like I said, this is not Copic paper. This is just what they call a coloring book. So I'm just trying to be very light-handed here, not trying to let it bleed out of the lines. I'm not saying that it won't, because some parts of these letters are quite thin, even for the tip of this Copic marker. So again, I'm using a pale cherry pink, which is red number 11 to start out with. I like to start with the lighter colors. Sometimes I do start with the darkest, but I would say most of the time I start with the lightest. So I always try and use like a light, a dark, and a medium. And I use the medium a lot of times for blending. And of course I use the darker for the shadow, unless I want the main color to be the darkest. So for my dark color, I am using R29, also called lipstick red, a very popular color in the reds. Okay. So we're just going to see where I can kind of figure out where light and shadows might be. So I'm going to say that my light is coming from the left of the page. And this is going to be difficult because I can already see that it's going to want to, it's really going to want to bleed. So I'm going to try and do like kind of like on the really thin parts, like I'm almost like I'm outlining, and be very light-handed with this. So yeah, presenting some challenge here, but that's okay. So again, I hope you're having a fabulous day. Comment below with some ideas you have, maybe concerning art or crafts, things that you want to accomplish this year. Maybe some big changes that you're going to be going through. Are you moving, getting married? I had kind of planned to move this year back up to New England, but so far I haven't made any great strides towards that end. And if you hear little noises and you haven't been following me, I do have Tourette's, so. Oh. And my video stopped. I have to delete some videos off this phone, apparently, because it's not letting me video too long right now, but that's okay. So I just restarted it. And with my editing program, I can just link all these videos together. So yeah, so anyway, I'm doing the lipstick red right now. I had done the pale cherry pink on the lettering first for my light color. Now I'm going in with my dark color. Okay, and then for blending, I'm going to be going in with my mid-tone. And for my mid-tone, I believe I chose Prawn R24. Okay. So now we will just go in here and we will just kind of, yeah, it's bleeding out through the lines, unfortunately, but that's okay. Yeah, it's really bleeding out through the lines. This is a very juicy marker. Oops, yeah, I'm really getting out through the lines, but that's okay. This is only for me, and but I am using this to blend the two colors together. And like I said, these letters are so thin that it's bleeding quite badly. Now, what you can do, whether it will work on this paper or not, I'm not sure. Let me get my cat down. Is I have, you can use a, oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. You can use a blender, the blending marker in Copic. And I don't know if you guys can see what's happening here. All of a sudden, this ink is it's just pouring out of here like water. Oh my gosh. Did you see that? Look at that. Let me show you what happened. All of a sudden, the ink started pouring out of there like water. So apparently, this, I don't know whether someone refilled this or not, but it is really, really full. So it just ruined my lettering. But what I can do is I can take the clear Copic blender, and hopefully I can pick up some of that ink. Yeah, this has really gotten really bad. I may not even post this video. Okay, so, you know, there's always mistakes that are made. Now, I got to tell you, I bought these markers, 160, I think, or something like that, off of a woman in Canada, and she sold them in lots of 30. And because of the way that Prawn just ran, now I'm wondering if they were truly brand new markers or if she just bought old ones, cleaned them up, and refilled them herself. I'm not sure. And I don't want to call anybody out like that. But I can't understand why that would pour out of there. I mean, literally, look at what the mid-tone did to all my lettering. So this is your number 0 colorless blender. Where is my camera? Yeah, my colorless blender. I'm sorry, my cat is playing with my book. So what I'm doing, if you can see that, is I am going around the lettering and I'm trying to remove all of this ink. Now, how well this is going to work, so far I can tell you that it's almost lifted the color on this side of the Y. So that makes me a little bit happier that maybe I can salvage this. I was thinking maybe I should just maybe make a copy of this page just for my own use, of course. I was thinking it'd be pretty to frame it, but I want to change the bird up a little bit, so maybe I'll just do my own January. This is my birth month, so January is an important month to me. But can you see how that is picking up a lot of the color there? I don't know that I'll be able to get it all up, but if I can get a lot of it up, that would be fantastic. I'm trying to go around some of the letters and pick up some of this bleeding that happened. I mean, that literally, that prawn marker, it was pouring out of there. So I think what I'll do with that prawn marker is I will put that aside, and when I get ready to do some kind of picture where I'm going to do a major area, like a big wash area, and I want to use that color, I think then I will use that so I don't waste the ink that's in there, and then it doesn't ruin a lot of my work. So yeah, this is frustrating that that happened right when I'm doing my New Year's drawing for you guys. But you know what? It's good to find these things out, because if you don't have trials, tribulations, mistakes, things like that, you don't know how in the world you can overcome them, you know. So if everything was smooth sailing 24/7, I don't think we would grow, and I don't think we would become stronger. Yeah, I mean, that's just my little input on it. Obviously, we would all like things to be smooth sailing all the time. But like I said, you know, if we have some bumps in the road, I think that makes us stronger people. Yeah, I'm just trying to remove some of this bleeding. Now, I don't know how much will actually disappear, because like I said, this is not like a Neenah Solar White cardstock that I normally would suggest for the Copic markers. You want something really smooth and that is meant for alcohol-based markers. This is just very thin coloring book paper. So it did, like I said, it did get rid of a lot of that. It seems like the more I use the colorless blender, like it was pulling even more of the ink out, so making more work for me. So I'm trying to just use the bare tip on this. But yeah, it is fixed a lot of the issue that happened. As you saw, I had major pouring of ink out all over these last couple letters. So I feel like it's helped a little bit, well, quite a bit. And I thought another thing I could do is take my Micron, my Sakura Micron pens, and go over the black outline of the letters to kind of make them a little bit bolder. And maybe that would cover up some of that bleed through as well. So I'm thinking maybe that's what I might do to help correct this. But like I said, without things happening, you don't know how to correct them, right? And that's just the way it goes. Yeah, so I might change this bird up a little bit. And then I also think that I'm going to go ahead and do my own drawing on actual Copic paper, and the one that I suggest is the Neenah, N-E-E-N-A-H, Solar White cardstock. And I forget what do I use, the 80 pound? I think I use the 80 pound. I'll link that below. But I got mine, oh gosh, I think I got mine actually through Joann's with a 50 or 60% off coupon. And it made it a fantastic price because it's a little spendy. That cardstock is pretty spendy. It's very ultra smooth. It's perfect for the Copic or alcohol-based markers, whether you use the Blick Studio brush markers or the Studio 71s or the Ooops or whatever brand you use. That paper is really good. And of course, it depends on what you're making too. So, yeah, sorry, my nose. I was just outside taking care of my bunnies while I was trying to let some of this dry, and oh, my nose. It's -6 here, and it's very, very cold, so my nose runs when I go outside in the cold weather. I don't know if you guys are the same way. Here, let's get you guys pulled back up here so you can see me again. I put a little headband that I treated myself to that I got at the dollar store because yeah, my hair kept falling in my face and stuff. It's really cute. Look at it. It's black stretchy lace. Yeah. So, and of course, once my hair gets thicker, it probably won't fit on my hair. But yeah. And like I said, I don't normally wear this thick of a nose ring. My other one had to be soaked. And I'm thinking of having a couple more holes in there and having 3 super tiny fine hoops put in here. Yeah. My piercer's wife has hers like that, Brooke does, and I love, love, love it. And they posted that they just did a customer like that, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I really want. I love that. And I think I'm going to get one more piercing. I don't have my doth or my cartilage or anything pierced in this ear, so. But anyway, that's off topic. Okay, guys, well, we will come back with some Neenah cardstock, and we will do some Copic marker coloring. And yeah, so again, I hope you're having a fantastic holiday. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't put ridiculous, demands on yourself for New Year's resolutions. Just, do what you can do and be happy with that. And remember, you are all amazing, just as you are. Happy New Year. Bye.